Welcome to Yoga 77. My name is Jackie. Today we're going to be having a little bit of a play with side plank. I'm going to be offering variations so that most bodies will be able to get into this shape. You might like a block or maybe a thick book. You might like a blanket or a towel to also go under your knees. So bring those in if you would like to use them and hop into something comfy. We will start in a tabletop position. Spreading the fingers wide. Just notice connection of your hands and fingers to your mat or the ground, whatever you're practicing on. Little tucking under of your tailbone, a little lift through the belly. Just finding length in your spine in your tabletop, from the crown of your head right down to your tailbone. And we'll just come through some cat-cows to begin with. And so pressing down a little bit more with your hands, start to dome into your spine, allow your gaze to come back towards your legs, doming into your upper back. And then let the belly melt down, let the gaze come forward, and see if you can open up a little bit more through your chest or your heart space. Nice, and just continue to flow through your cat-cow. And a beautiful chance to start to check in with your breath here. It might be an exhale as you dome into cat, and it might be an inhale as you lower your belly into cow. And if you're not already, the invitation is to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And just take the time here to check in with how your spine is feeling. Check in with how your breath is today. And really just being curious how your body feels. Starting to settle your mind, come into the present for your practice today. Let's take another 3 to 4 rounds of your cat-cow. You might start to notice the movement or the rippling movement through your spine, almost like a wave-like motion. Maybe starting at your pelvis, coming all the way up through your vertebrae, right to the crown of your head. Beautiful. And once you're complete, you can just take some side-to-side movement, a little bit of freedom just to explore a little further. Might draw your hips back a little. You might take side-to-side or circling motions. You might even start to come over your wrists. It's really checking in with your whole body. Really nice. And then from here, just tuck your toes under, come into a kneeling position and circling out through the wrists. You might give them a bit of a shake, just give those wrists some love. We'll come back into tabletop, fingers spread wide. Nice. Now tuck the toes under if they're not already. Lift up through the belly and then see if you can hover your knees off your mat. Just notice if you can keep a softness through your breath. And then start to lift your hips up to your first downward facing dog. And just bring your belly back towards your thighs. So invite a generous bend through your knees. Here you might take some movement, pedaling out through your feet. Starting to allow a little bit more space through the side body. And we won't be here for long. Let's draw forward, bring the knees down wide and just come back into child's pose again for 3 to 5 breath rounds. You might be on your forearms or arms extended out long. Forehead might come down to your mat, or you might be a little higher up. Nice, and then come back up to your tabletop, and I'm just going to face you to make it a little clearer. And this is where you might like to bring a blanket in and pop the blanket under your right knee and extend out through your left foot. So we're coming into our gate pose. Nice, so it's like a tabletop, fingers spread wide, except we have the leg extended out, and see if you can draw the sole of that foot down towards your mat in that direction. And then just start some forward and backwards gliding motion Just checking in with how your left leg is feeling, how your hips are feeling. Now that back foot, the toes can be tucked under, or you might prefer to bring the top of that foot down to the ground or your mat. Nice, just find any interesting sticky spots along the way. Nice, and then from here, this is where you might like to use the block or something to assist. You don't have to. We're going to come up with our upper body. So just sort of activate your core and the legs, and we're going to rise up. So again, as much of an assist as you wish. And then you might bring that block into the left hand. Nice. And then just notice what's happening to your pelvis, little toning through the belly, and then draw your legs towards each other. Just notice that activation through the inner leg, and then relax, let it go. Nice, try that again. Activate. So you can keep a light activation throughout these movements today. If you let go of it, that's okay, just something to be aware of. Now, option is to keep your hand on your block or at your leg, and we're going to lift up, maybe a little bit over, and then bringing that hand down again. So we're going to take another 3 of these, and you might be moving with your breath. So it might be an exhale as you lower, and it might be an inhale as you reach back up. You might keep your gaze on your hands, or the gaze might be straight ahead or down. And just think length through the spine. Check in if you've still got that drawing in of your legs coming towards each other. Beautiful. Come into a hold as you're ready. And again, you might take your gaze up. You might come a little bit further across your midline. Nice. And again, just notice the length through the spine. Softness through the breath, softness through your face. And then it might be your next exhale. Bring that arm all the way back down. And we're going to set up for our modified side plank. So pop the block on the other side. Nice. And this might be your side plank. Now, if you're a little bit low, if you don't want to come down that low, the other option is to bring a chair in, really nice option, or even to come to standing. Your block could be on the higher position as well. And so have a little play with that. And once you've come into your shape, it's a sense of lifting your hips up. So lifting through both sides of the body, and then hand at your waist. And if you wish, you might bring that hand up towards the ceiling. Nice, a light toning through the belly, lengthening from the crown of the head. Check the head isn't falling down, so think of that length right from your crown. And then option is to have a go, activating through the left leg and lifting that leg up. Now you might have a flexed foot, or you might try pointing your toes. Nice, then lowering back down, bring that hand down, and see if you can activate your tummy, your abs, come all the way back up, and just take some little movements side to side like you're releasing it. Nice, so we're going to have another go coming in. Option 1 is to do it exactly the same. You don't have to add on. Think of it as layering on if you want to. You might come in and you might go back. You might just want to give it a go. So really up to you. So again, option for the block, or you might want to try without the block. Nice, you might stay here. Now if you want a little more, bring that hand down to begin with. Nice, and bring your left foot in front. So it might come on the floor in front of the blanket, or if you're using that under your knee. And then start to activate through the front foot and leg, and see if you can lift up your back leg. Nice, so you're starting to really fire up this front leg, your left leg, and then fire it up, activate through this arm, shoulder above your wrist. Nice, and then we're going to take that right leg out to the side. Nice, now it's a lift through the hips on the edge of that right foot. Beautiful, toning through the belly. Now option is to keep your hand at your waist, or you might take your hand up, you might take your gaze up. Now if you want to come in a little further, you might bring the hand down, and then we're going to take that front foot, so your left foot, and we're going to take it back, coming into a full plank. Again, lifting up through the hips. You might take your arm up. Nice, and you might take your gaze up. See how slowly you can transition out. So if you can reverse it. So your left foot is going to come in front. We're going to bring that right leg back in and then come back into your gate pose. Again, activate through the tummy, rising back up, and just take that movement side to side. You might even invite your arms in. Bit of an octopus move. It's like you're releasing it, telling your nervous system it's all okay. I've got you, nervous system. Really nice. And then bring the hands down. And again, come back to that movement, just gliding forward and back. Again, make it yours. Little, small, slower, faster. Maybe a little bit of side to side, just exploring that movement. Beautiful, and then come back into tabletop. Now, option is to come through a chaturanga flow, if you like, into downward facing dog through your high plank. We'll meet in tabletop, or you can stay in your tabletop and just take it through some cat-cows. If you'd prefer to come into child's pose, you're very, very welcome. Just really take what you need in between sides. Beautiful, and then we'll meet in tabletop position. Now again, we're going to bring that blanket under the left knee. Just bringing your block in if you're using a block. Beautiful, fingers spread wide, shoulders above the wrists, and then we will take the right leg out. Beautiful, and again, just take that forward to back, gliding motion. And see if you can bring your awareness to the connection of the sole of your right foot to your mat or to the ground. Again, you might take a little bit of sideways, more organic movement here, just checking in. Beautiful, and then we're going to come up into our gate pose. So again, a little tucking of belly button towards spine, and then a drawing together of your legs. So we're drawing into our midline to rise up. Again, if you wish to use the block to help you, little assist, go for it. And then again, if you're using the block, bring it under your right leg. Nice, and then see if you can really be nice and tall and long through the spine, shoulders down and back. Again, that opening through your heart space, through your chest. Beautiful. And then again, we're going to move with the breath. And so again, it might be an inhale as you reach up, maybe a little bit across with the left arm. And then on your exhale, floating all the way down. And again, we'll take another 3 rounds of this. When you finish your 3 rounds, you're going to come into your holding shape. So just finishing your last round or 2. Really nice. And when you come up, you might lift a little taller through the fingertips. Just notice that length right down the left side of your body. Nice. And then maybe coming across your midline. Gaze can be up or down. Just notice how it feels through the neck. Again, think of length right to the crown of your head. Beautiful. And we'll stay for a couple more breaths. Notice if you've lost connection with the legs, see if you can keep that light drawing together of your legs. Beautiful, and then just bring that arm down. You might just take some little sideways motions, and we're going to set up for that modified side plank on the second side. So you might bring your block in. Decide on the height you'd like your block. Again, if you'd like to be a little higher, bring in the seat of a chair is really, really nice to use. We've been using that variation at community yoga, and it's been really, really supportive. So again, options, something just to prop that hand up a little higher. Of course, you can come straight down to the floor or your mat if you wish. Nice. And then again, a lift through the hips, toning through the belly, openness through the heart space, length from the crown of the head, hand at the waist, or you might reach the hand up towards the ceiling. You might even take the gaze up, and you might activate through that right leg and start to float it up and off the floor. And I like to think of pushing out through the sole of my foot or reaching out through my toes. Beautiful. Try one of each to see how it feels, and then lower that leg down slowly, bring the hand back down to your waist. Beautiful. And then see if you can activate, draw legs towards each other. Whoop, back up we go. Nice. And again, you might just take that movement side to side. It's like you're just releasing, giving the spine, the side body a bit of a massage, and we'll come back in. So again, you might come in exactly the same. That might be just the sweet pose for your body. So just go with that. Have another practice or two. You can always come down, come back in. Otherwise, coming a little further. So if you wish to take the block away, go for it. Spread the fingers wide, shoulder above the wrist. So really think about that alignment, stacking your bones, stacking your joints. Beautiful. And then again, you might have a go floating the leg up. You might bring the arm up. You feel like, oh yeah, feeling strong on this side. Then you might take it a little further. So we're going to bring the right leg in front. Nice. And again, weight through the arm, the wrist, the shoulder, the front leg. And we're going to lift up that back leg. So it's like you're picking up the back knee. So the foot is staying down. Really nice. And then lifting through the hips a little bit more. We're going to bring that back leg, come on the side of your foot. Really nice. Again, think of that lift through the bottom, through the hips. Careful you don't sink down. Whoop, up we go. And then again, it's like a lengthening. So check what your chin is doing. Lengthen from the crown of the head. Beautiful. Option to bring the arm up and overhead. You might take the gaze up. Just notice your strength here, your length through the spine, lift through the hips. Really nice. And then again, you might take it a little further. So you can either leave your arm up or bring it down. So again, we're going to take the front foot back. So really think of that stabilization through the arm, through the shoulder, lifting through the hips, toning through the belly. Really nice. Length through the crown of the head. And then maybe taking your arm up, maybe the gaze up. Beautiful. And then bring that hand down slowly. Beautiful. Transitioning out. Bring your right foot in front. Nice. Left leg comes back in. Reset. We're going to come back into that gate pose. Again, lifting up, drawing through your midline to come up. Again, you might take some free motion here. A little bit of a octopus dance. Nice. And then come forward. Fingers wide, a modified tabletop here, just drawing the hips forward and back. Nice, and just let that all go, releasing, checking in. Beautiful, and then come back into your tabletop position. You might take the blanket away. Taking another round of your cat-cows. Might take some sideways movement, just rinsing it all out. Really nice. Bring the knees out wide, big toes connecting. Come into your child's pose. Just allow your heart space to melt down towards your mat. You might have space to bring your forehead onto your mat. If not, bring your block in. And then you might be on your forearms. And then bring your forehead to your block. Nice. You might take little rocks side to side with your head massaging out through your forehead, your third eye. Beautiful. And then option is to stay as you are. You might stay here for a few minutes. If you'd prefer to transition into a different Shavasana shape, you're very, very welcome. Otherwise, staying in child's pose. If you'd like to transition, you might come down onto your back. You might prefer to come to seated. You're just finding a shape where you can allow stillness, allowing your practice to integrate into mind and body. And so finding a position where you can allow everything to let go. And just scan through your body, take any final adjustments to invite that space and softening. Beautiful. And we will stay here for 1 minute. Shavasana. As you start to bring your mind back into your physical body, just start to gently awaken your body, maybe wriggling your fingers, your toes, turning your head side to side. You might take a full body stretch. Like bring your body, your knees in towards your belly, give yourself a hug, just take whatever else you need. Wherever you are, bringing hands to heart center. Take a moment to acknowledge your practice, give yourself thanks, compassion, gratitude, love for showing up for your practice today. The hardest thing is showing up. It's bringing that into your heart space. And we'll end our practice with a shared breath if you'd like to join me. Just find your exhale, let your breath go. And then a big breath in, reach arms overhead, your palms might meet, and then exhaling, drawing through heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that you revisit this practice, maybe layering on those little challenges, kind challenges coming into side plank, and remember the words of regress to progress. Have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your evening. Go well. Namaste.